Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're recapping what's happened recently on the Terraria multiplayer server. If you want to watch the previous videos, you can see them right here. Subscribe if you like the video, and stick around to the end to figure out how you can join the server. So this time around, the first boss we fought was the Eater of Worlds. This one was a little bit surprising because, of course, when you play by yourself, there's the giant fear of splitting the thing apart. We of course had that here as well. I was surprised by a couple things though, like for instance damage sometimes would only do 1 damage to you, so that was fine, I appreciated that. And I was also surprised by how long we were able to keep it together. We did eventually split it of course towards the end, but we were hitting every section pretty evenly. But anyway, at the end of the day, the Eater of Worlds was a jerk and killed me right before we killed it, so yeah, that sucked. But eventually I made my way back, got my treasure bag, and I got shadow skills and a worm scarf, which is actually going to be pretty helpful. Some people also tried summoning the thing again, but that didn't really work out. After that, I started building an arena for Skeletron, and so after a bit of work and a little bit of help, we finally summoned him. He had a decent amount of health, and he definitely hit hard, but we were able to do some damage. And once again, none of our weapons are really that good. You could also get really unlucky and have the insane combos just kill you, and so that was always frustrating. And to add extra salt onto that, we had to walk like 5 minutes back to the fight every time we died. So yeah, that sucked. But eventually we knocked out both of his hands, and it was just his head, which could shoot these bone things. They were really annoying because they kind of had homing and did a stupid amount of damage, so you really had to look out for that. But eventually, when we started getting pretty close to getting him, it turned to day, and he killed everyone. So yeah, that sucked. But we came up with a plan. We spent the next day building a house. I built a bed and put that down in the house so that we would all set our spawn points right there, which would save us a ton of time. On top of that, someone moved the nurse into the house, and so that would help people heal, assuming they had money. And the last thing we did to help out was as soon as it hit night, we summoned it right away. These few additions definitely made a huge impact, because while we did die a lot, we were able to just pretty much immediately respawn. We wouldn't have to spend forever walking back, and so we could just respawn, jump around, and shoot them. But at the end of the day, we were somehow able to kill him just before 4:30, which would have turned it to daytime, and he would have killed all of us. So yeah, thank goodness for that. From the boss, I got the Book of Skulls, as well as a bone glove. The skulls had like homing, which is pretty sick, and they actually did a decent amount of damage. The next week when we were playing, the first thing I found was this giant area where a meteor had landed, but I couldn't break any of the ore, which is annoying. So I went ahead and made a hellstone pickaxe, which definitely will do the job, and then I got back out there and just started mining away. These enemies though were definitely gonna be really annoying. For one, you know, they could take a couple of hits and that would mean I'd have to switch tools again, and for two, they just kept on coming. So unfortunately, after taking a couple of deaths, I just decided it wasn't worth it to keep trying to fight off these things. After that, we wanted to kill King Slime again, and for some reason, they wanted to do it in the corruption. We eventually talked the people into just doing it by our house, and that worked just fine. I don't know what the original plan was, I don't know why it was said, but at the end of the day, I mean, we were able to just kill this thing. It took us a total of like 1 minute. So that was fine. Most of the stuff I got was pretty much junk, but I ended up getting the saddle, which meant that I could now use like the slime, and because I could double jump, I was able to get pretty high with it. It did annoy me that I take fall damage when doing that though. That just seems dumb. I feel like the slime can tank anything, but I mean there's a simple fix to that, which is just use my umbrella, so I can't really complain. After that, I did a bit of exploring around the world, and unfortunately, I found a ton of chests, but like nothing was ever good, or it had already been picked through, so yeah, that kind of sucked. We did eventually decide to go kill Queen Bee, which was next to this caverns area that someone had already started building. This meant that I finally made it to the Shimmer for the first time ever, so it was kind of cool to just at least see it for the first time. The design of the whole area is sick. But on the way to the Queen Bee arena, we all died. This is just like the funniest, like, what do you say? The stuff in the chest apparently wasn't even good, so love it. But eventually we managed to get over to Queen Slime, and we were able to do some decent damage. This wasn't the easiest fight, especially being so cramped and not having a proper arena set up, but somehow we were able to take it down, so that's sick. After that, I went ahead and bought the Mini Shark now that I finally had enough money to rebuy it. I looked into what it would take to upgrade that, but that's going to be a while. To help speed up that process, we figured we might as well just get into hard mode. So we started building an underground platform to be able to fight the Wall of Flesh, and after building a pretty giant one, we summoned the Wall of Flesh and started taking it down. Initially, we were actually doing some decent damage. Like, I actually thought, hey, we might have a chance at this. But everything went downhill when I ended up dying, because you can't really get back in front of the wall. I just couldn't do that with the stuff I had on me. So I just had to watch as they eventually ran out of road and slowly started dying one by one. Which, yeah, I mean, probably foreseeable since we didn't have a road. The thing still had, like, more than half its health, so I couldn't really expect them to do much. And yeah, believe it or not, they did end up dying. So, oh well. We tried. We'll get them next time. The last interesting thing that happened was people started, like, mass summoning creatures using, like, statues. That was pretty interesting. Kind of pointless, but kind of cool. But anyways, that was a ton of fun. If you want to join the server, the best thing to do is to go to the Discord server, links in the description, and from there you can find all the rules and IP address and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a fantastic day.